Mark Simmons of Toronto bidding to become the 4th Canadian in the medal rounds. This is a heavyweight quarterfinal for the right to go to the semis with a guarantee of bronze. Simmons making his Commonwealth Games debut. He is in the red. The opponent is Charles Quartey of Ghana. As we start round 3, it's tied at 4, and now Simmons has the go-ahead shot. Well, Coach Amber, last night you had a long chat with Simmons. What did you tell him?
Well, earlier in the day, I had spoken to his coach, Dwight Fraser, and Dwight seemed a little concerned that Mark might be getting himself a little nervous and whatnot leading up to the fight. And so I had a little talk with him and explained to him that it's normal that he's going to feel nervous, and when he feels that, let it be just a reminder to do the right things. Keep the hands up, nice tight defense, and do what he does best. That's exactly what he's doing, and if Mark Simmons was a tad tentative to start this fight, he is fighting with poise and confidence now. Good defense, Coach Amber. Yeah, and he's not making the same mistake he was making early in the fight, where when he would get inside, he'd let that left hand drop a little, and Quartey would try to come over with that right hand, and he did a couple of times, gave up a few sneaky points, and you can't afford to do that at this level of competition. Big moment for Simmons in 18 years of boxing. These are his first major games. He was beaten for a spot on the Olympic team by David Defiabon. Simmons has a point to prove now, and that is that he belongs on the world stage. I think this is a long time coming for him, Scott. He certainly deserves to be here. And you know what? If you went to Canadian Tire with a blueprint, you couldn't build a better-looking heavyweight than Mark Simmons. Sleek but powerful, working very effectively here behind the jab and scoring consistently with the right. You know, if I was in his corner, I'd tell him, listen, you don't have to take a step forward with this guy. Just hold your ground. Let Quartey come to him. Because when he steps forward with his jab, he's entering the punching zone of Quartey, and at that point, he could get hit. But if he stands back and holds his ground and lets Quartey come to him, and then fire off when Quartey gets within the perimeter, he'll be fine. Mark Simmons looking good through 3 rounds of this heavyweight quarterfinal. Oh, there's a good right hand over the top. And that scores as the round comes to an end. He is up by 3. Mark Simmons with a 3-point lead as round 4 of this heavyweight quarterfinal begins. Again, that's Simmons in the red. The opponent, Charles Quartey of Ghana. Don't know much about him except that he has boxing bloodlines. Ike Quartey, the world welterweight champion, is his brother. Russ, do you like the way that Mark Simmons' confidence appears to be building? Oh, he's built, and he's establishing himself as well. Not only the confidence, he's working smart, he's boxing. We know Mark Simmons is a deadly puncher, but he's using his boxing skills to set up those hard shots. Look at that nice ramrod left hand, finding the target again and again. Right hand over the top. And the right scored, and now he has doubled up on the fighter from Ghana, Charles Quartey. Mark Simmons leading 10-5. Trained much of his career with Adrian Teodorescu. 3 weeks before the Commonwealth Games, moved to the Jamestown Club in Brampton to train with Dwight Fraser. And Dwight's been working on Mark's pacing, helping him relax. That's what he's got to do, because if you start tightening up in there, you lose the fluidity, you lose the chance to let those hands go smoothly and throw combinations, and you get tired quicker. So by staying nice and calm and relaxed, he's able to perform a lot better, and we're seeing a lovely performance here from young Mark Simmons. Not to sell Quartey short, he is working hard, but he's unable to penetrate the defense of Mark Simmons. And those shots from Simmons are wearing him down. Oh, daddy, there's the right hand right over the top. That right rocked Quartey. Now it's a 7-point lead for Mark Simmons. He's really going to work on his opponent. He's going to town with combinations, Scott. He's firing combinations, finishing up with the left hook, body, and head. He's mixing up the attack. Quartey is starting to feel the effect of those punches. Canada has 3 fighters in the medals already. Marty O'Donnell at featherweight, Andrew Cooner at bantamweight, Troy Amos Ross at light heavy. They all won their quarterfinals and all are through to the semis, and Simmons is bidding to join them and looking very good. There's that ramrod left hand again, coming out and spearing Quartey, holding him at bay and setting him up for shots like that. There's that nice little rhythm. That's what I want to see. There it is, left hooks off the top. An 8-point lead for Mark Simmons through 4 rounds. Victory is in hand. It's a 9-point lead now for Mark Simmons of Canada in the red in the 5th and final round of this heavyweight quarterfinal. The round nicely underway. Coach Amber, Simmons had to be told between rounds that he was ahead, and he's not laying off. He's not laying off, and he's come out and let Quartey know that he's not going to just give this round away, and took any hope of Quartey mounting an attack and trying to make a comeback. He blew that steam right out of it with shots like that. One of which scores. 16-5 now for Mark Simmons. His confidence has built throughout this fight. Now nicely in control and great defense. Yeah, he's just laying up in there. Anytime Quartey wants to go on the attack,
Mark just tucks up real close to him, gets those hands high, let the guy throw his bolt, and then come out firing shots with stiff jabs like that. That's what you want to see from Mark Simmons.
And we know who's enjoying this fight most of all back in Canada. That's Mark's father, Norman, an enormous influence on his boxing life. He's never missed a day in the gym with his son.
Look at that, just laying up in there, hands held high, and then punching out of the clinches, body and head. Quartey, just too much power from Mark Simmons, too much strength for him to mount any kind of a comeback.
You know, the rest of the heavyweights are in the building watching this fight, and Mark Simmons has put them on notice. He is the one to watch in this class.
Look at that jab, just firing out there.
And so it's over. Mark Simmons, with a great show, has his spot in the semifinals.
I think I did good. The first couple rounds, we kept it tight, and then I moved ahead. I was nervous. It was a long wait for my first fight, but it's over and done with, so that's good.
Was this not the fight to build your confidence?
Yeah, that's what I need. I need a fight to win by a wide margin, and I got a bronze medal. I just need to change the color of it now.
Coming up, Patrice Leroux and the super heavyweights.